Hello and welcome to the Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, July 14th. And what the first order of business is the minutes from the meeting of the June 16th. The pleasure of the board on that.
Make the motion, we approve the minutes of June 16th.
Okay, any discussion? Having none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Second order of business, 81Ps. We have two of them, one on Haywood Street and another one on Camp Street.
So the one for Haywood Street is, the town's actually the applicant here. So what happened was, the Italian vets applied for an outdoor liquor license on the pavilion when I first started here, and I caught it because that land is actually the town's. The town owned the pavilion and the bocce court. It was all on the town property. So this is to correct all of this and to put a line and to give these lands, parcel A, parcel B, and parcel C, to the Italian vets at a cost. And then we also found two issues with the two lots underneath it there, parcel D and parcel E, and those need to be transferred to those owners as well. The only thing that's missing off this plan is a 15-foot wide easement for maintenance and access for the highway department to be able to maintain the bank of Charles River. It would run the entire bank of all three lots. So what I'm looking for, hopefully, is a motion to endorse, hopefully with the caveat that that easement gets added at a later date. Happy to answer any questions.
Would it make more sense to have them add it and let us see it next meeting?
So when we get applications for 81P, we have 21 days to decide.
Oh, yeah.
And our meeting is far more than 21 days away.
Yep.
So looking for a conditional endorsement, and then once that's on, I could share it online if you want, and if you want to see it, but conditional endorsement pending that 15-foot easement. Thing is the surveyor was out for a period of time, and it was also out with Liz's vacation, so they didn't, then town council's been going back and forth with Liz on this, and that's just the last piece that's needed here.
Yeah, no, that's all okay. It's obviously something that's very important to have added to the plan, so I'm okay with that.
I mean, I was aware that this was town property. My recollection, Babe, you may know better than I do, was it the town's intent that they allowed them to put this stuff in as part of an easement, or were they actually going to sell them the property when they did this?
I thought it was all part of the 99-year lease.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so I was surprised when Liz told me that there was, and she says there's no lease on it, and there actually is no lease, so I says, okay.
Right. So
I don't argue with the registry of deeds.
the pavilion was built, and there was like an opening ceremony and everything, and it turns out the whole thing was on town property. So.
We did a beautiful job in the pavilion, too.
Lovely.
I mean, yeah, that's my only comment, is I was under the impression that the town, if the town wanted to maintain control of it, I have no problem with giving them a lease or whatever, if this is the way the town wants to do it. That's fine. I just want to make sure that, in fact...
Yeah. We did weigh options with council and with the town administrator, and we determined that this was the best way, to just get rid of the property entirely.
Okay.
Make a motion, we sign the 81P?
With the conditions.
With the,
With the condition that when you
easement.
get it to sign it, that you have the 15-foot easement.
Okay.
You have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? Haven't heard none. Let's have a vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
All right, thank you.
The second 81P?
Second one, this is it's a transfer of lot. This really doesn't impact frontage. This is between landowners of 83 and 81 Camp Street. The landowner of 81 Camp Street is trying to get a little land there so he can put on an addition and not impose on his setback. So this is a simple transfer of land between property
Oh, my
owners.
goodness.
It's that little sliver right in the middle of the two lots.
You must have,
That's all
missed
this
the
is.
variance thing
Wow.
from Milford, because it was
Yeah.
a waste of time.
Right.
Wow.
So that's all this one is.
Move approval.
Any questions on it? All right, it's the pleasure of the board.
Martha made it a motion, I think, right?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wow,
Unanimous?
that one's,
Okay. All right.
piece of land about this big.
Item number,
Transferred.
item number 3, we got an amended site plan application at 179 Fortune Boulevard,
Yep. Yep.
the storage tank.
Is there an applicant here for that one? Come right up here to these front seats, please. If you'd like, I can read my report, and then we can go to the applicant?
Yes, please.
Or the applicant first, either way. So the applicant requests an amended site plan review to add and upgrade an existing generator fuel tank at the Milton Cat business at 179 Fortune Boulevard. Specifically, the project consists of replacing the existing generator belly fuel tank with a new 3,000-gallon double-wall FireGuard above-ground storage tank to fuel the existing generator system. Project results in no net reduction of open space as the work replaces existing infrastructure within an already developed portion of the site. No parking spaces are being proposed to be removed or recalculated as part of the work. Therefore, I recommend conditioning approval as follows, subject to abiding by approvals, comments from state agencies, other town boards, departments, and commissions. Because we did receive letters from the water department and the fire department on this, and the fire department says there's no changes. Installation, removal, and fuel storage permits are available at the fire station, so they're set to follow those. And the applicant can add anything that I missed.
Please, state your name.
Thomas Heller with Ty and Bond.
Okay.
And Dale Cohen with Milton Cat.
Any questions about that? It seemed pretty.
Give us a general overview. So is the old tank aging? Is that why you're replacing?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's the tank is smaller. It's only a couple hundred gallons, and it's more of a temporary tank that we've used for the training facility. Like probably a decade ago, we renovated 179 Fortune Boulevard to be a training center to train our technicians on generators, and basically that tank just fuels the generators for training purposes. And we have rental generators, and when they come back from rental, it's just like a car, you have to top off the fuel. But DOT, these are fifth wheeler trailer size generators, and we have to actually remove 20% of the fuel to be DOT compliant when they go back out. So we have a fuel caddy that we take the extra fuel out, but the fuel caddy is only like 200 gallons. And we propose to do the permanent 3,000-gallon tank to take the 20% off we need to be DOT compliant, and also have a permanent tank to run our generators. So the tank's already there, the training facility and everything's there. We just want a more permanent place to house our extra fuel.
Any questions from the board?
Putting the double wall tank, there's never been a leak on a double wall tank yet since they started making them, so it's a good thing for the town.
Good to know.
So I make a motion that we approve the amended site plan.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion?
With the condition that I recommended?
Yeah.
To abide
Yeah,
by?
they can't do anything without the fire department licenses anyway, so.
Yeah.
We have ongoing permits with the town fire department for other
Right.
tanks at other locations, so we're pretty familiar with it, and we have no problem, obviously, doing the annual.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Gentlemen, I'll sign the site plan tomorrow, and it should be available I'll circulate it to the town departments.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, the next order of business, we've got a definitive subdivision contract extension request on Angela Drive.
Sir, so I didn't provide a memo for this because this is an interesting situation. So what we have is we have a subdivision that was approved in 2010, and under our contract, the road was to be installed within 4-year time. Now, this is a very large subdivision. This was Casey Drive. This is a very big subdivision, and the Angela Drive part of it was like Phase 3, I suppose. So what we know is that the builder's been continuously working on this project. There's never been any interruptions here. In my opinion, these contracts are in place to handle the defunct builders that aren't working, the ones that abandon the projects. So I don't see an issue with granting an extension to this. It's just something we have to do as a formality if the board feels comfortable.
No, they've been working, well, they've been working on it, they've been blasting it all for as long as I can remember, just to make the subdivision workable. So they haven't done any, they've worked on the subdivision, but they haven't done any utility work or anything like that until now, and now they're ready to do it, so I don't see a problem whatsoever. Like Matt says, they've been working on it ever since, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that the town would gain by saying no anyways. All they kind of do is come back with a new plan that shows the extension of that road is a new plan, so there's no reason to do that. So, yeah, I have no problem with just granting the extension.
For what period of time? I'd ask the builder how long they'd expect they need, how much time.
How many lots are on this?
Dominic.
Hi, Donna.
Yeah, I do.
So
You
the
guys, nice to see all you guys.
Casey Drive or South Central Estates Phase 3 was a total of 33 lots. So that was this portion here, and then Angela Drive, and I do have a second sheet that shows Angela's cul-de-sac. So I believe in our request, we were initially asking for 3 years. Dominic, I don't know if that works for you, if you need a little more time there.
Oh, we're gonna, what we did, I thought it was all set, because we've been working there all the time. And I called Liz, say, Liz, what do you think we could start, Angela Court? And say, oh, that'd be great. I'm sure the people will be happy. Say, okay, I want to do the road and finish it up. And after that, I find out, oh, shit, I can't do it. And, but we've been working there all the time.
Right.
Never stop working. We working every day, and that's what we like to do, get the road in, get houses. I can't promise 3 years, depends on the market. Market's kind of slow now, but we like to try to get everything done as quick as possible. We still have the bonds, both sides of the road. All the road is still bond, Casey Road from the beginning, well, from the beginning, from Muff Road all the way up to Beaver Street. And part of the road is already the second coat, all paved, has been done.
We do have full drainage, sewer, and utilities on Casey Drive itself. All the basin work has been completed. We've been working with conservation on anything outstanding on that end for it. And currently, our survey crews have staked out the sewer manhole locations, water line locations, and lot lines for Angela Court. So this is something that we are looking to get proceeding forward with relatively soon. Drainage structures for Angela Court will be following very shortly after that.
So this is kind of me. I found this, and I'm like, it's
Well, I
long
mean, no,
since
and-
expired.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we
it's more of a
should.
paperwork thing
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, these are for the builders that disappear.
Right.
And this builder's been here the whole time. So it's just,
then
I think
some.
it's a formality.
I got no problem with the 3 years extension. They're tough lots, they're getting in tough times, so.
Yes, that's all edge. We've lost like, some of the areas like 50 feet.
I make a motion that we grant a 3-year extension to Angela Drive.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Have you heard none? What's the vote on this?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
All in favor? Okay.
I do have a couple of quick follow-up questions for the board. For this type of document, whether it's the original contract or the extension, does anything need to be recorded with the registry? Okay.
Yes,
So
I'll
we'll
have
make sure-
that prepared, and I'll ask Joe to come in to sign it once it's ready.
Okay, great. And then we'll make sure we get copies back over to the town on that end for it. And then in terms of any additional extensions, if we run into any, more ledge, more time that's needed on that end, is it usually like a couple of months before it's expired to come in for the extension, or is there any issues with getting a second extension at this point?
The road will be done.
Oh, no, I know, but just for my own knowledge too, I like to ask these things.
Yeah, they
Well,
like,
if you're gonna come in, if you had to come in again, my expectation would be that you'd have a pretty good idea of what you would need and how long. So if 3 years wasn't enough, if you knew 6 months before that you're gonna need another year, then come in at 6 months. But certainly, you need to tell us what's going on at that point if you needed to
As soon
come
as it
in.
looks clear, one way or the other.
No, understood for that. I do appreciate it. I'm not expecting it, but just cover my bases.
And I bet
Yeah.
Mr. Afonso is not either.
I don't need, I'll be around.
all right, so I already put a draft together, but I just wasn't sure the length of the term. So I should be ready tomorrow, and maybe the chairman can come in tomorrow morning and sign it.
Oh, great. Yeah, just feel free to shoot me an email, and we'll get over there and get that picked up and recorded for you guys.
All right.
Great, thank you all. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, all of you. Nice to see all of you guys.
Seeing you, Dominic.
Nice to see you,
See
Dominic.
you.
Nice to see you. I didn't even recognize you from there. Thank you.
The next order of business, we've got a site plan application continued from June 16th on 225 West Street.
Yes, they have requested a continuance to our August 11th meeting. They met with Conservation, but they weren't able to make enough amendments to their plan. I think they have another Conservation meeting either this week or next week to hopefully finalize that and then come back to us for the August 11th meeting. This is for both the applications, the site plan and the stormwater permit.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Move to continue both agenda items relating to 225 West Street to the August 11, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Have a vote?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Next order of business is the ZBA referral for 294 West Street.
Yes, sir. So with this one, the applicant requests a variance for relief of side yard setback, construction of a new building on existing property at 294 West. The plan is to request relief of the side yard setback to 14 feet where 25 feet is required. The applicant's proposed hardship is the shape of the lot for it being a narrow lot that is not perpendicular to the street. The building construction was built in 1952, considering perpendicular to the street, which greatly limits the size and location of construction. Given the news that we just got about these new variances and stuff, I'm not going to recommend any continuances of this, but the western border of the property abuts a commercial property driveway and already has a fence on its boundary. I don't see an impact on abutting property if relief is granted. Amendment to site plan review would be required if they did get the variance, so I recommend a favorable report to the ZBA.
They run a good operation there, and they pay the tax, the 1.5 times taxes, and they get no sewer, no water. They deserve a variance.
No sewer on that? Oh, on that, there's no sewer
That far
on
up
that?
West Street? No. Doesn't
No
go
water.
that far.
Did not
Doesn't go
know
that.
that.
It goes what?
No
It goes
water,
to
no sewer.
Country's just past Countryside. Well, that ties into Hopewell. Down further.
Yeah, the town line is really strange there.
Yeah, the nearest sewer is Field Pond Estates,
Yeah.
and the nearest water is Field Pond Estates.
Make a motion, we send a favorable recommendation to ZBA.
You said favorable, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I second that.
Okay.
This has to come back to site plan, correct?
Yes.
And
Any further
look at
discussion?
some of the parking at that point, but for this, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? All right. What's the vote on that?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ladies,
You want to go over the zoning bylaw amendments?
Yes. So,
Really?
yeah, I don't know what to really talk
We
about
just
at this
blow up
point.
zoning and just say to hell with it?
I know, right?
Get rid of the zoning board of appeals. We won't need them anymore.
Right. So the moratorium that I put together, I talked to council about it, and they advised us to consider other options before proceeding with this. And one of the things I learned is we have electronic data storage centers in our bylaw already, but they're allowed by right in the BP, IA, IB, and IC zones. I guess the question is, do we want to add special permits to those?
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right? I think that's the only modification that they'd be okay with, since it's already in our bylaw. I don't think it was intended for data centers, but that definition, if someone came with a data center, it's going to go under that
It's going to
definition.
fit the four corners, whatever.
Yes.
Well, yes to your question, but it seems like it might warrant further study.
The only thing I'm thinking is, based on where we are and what happened, is would you even allow it in BP? I'd almost take it out
That's
of
where I was
BP.
going.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of a change, Matt, that's the only thing that I mean, I see no reason to allow them in BP zone by, even without the special permit, just take it out totally, because there's only one left, and I wouldn't approve it in that location anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was what jumped into my mind.
16
Also,
is the only
some
spot
kind of
that-
size
that BP,
limitation,
right,
square
Kevin's.
footage, can we do
Yeah,
that?
Kevin's,
Yeah.
he could come back with something there, but I wouldn't want it there.
You want the special permit from the planning board as opposed to the ZBA?
Yes.
Okay. Had to ask.
Can we limit the square footage?
I don't know, well, I mean, you can only limit it by the size of the parcel and
Yeah.
meeting whatever the requirements are of
Yeah.
of the zoning district.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a path to that easily.
That's, 16 would be the only place they'd have enough electricity anyway
Yeah,
for,
so I was just thinking that they could come out the backside and pick up
but they wouldn't
electricity.
have enough water for.
No. No.
But yeah, I agree with Joe
I mean,
very much.
The tension lines are
BP.
right there.
Yeah.
I'll take
Ma'am, do you
these.
have any questions on what we're...
I have one question.
Sure, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
I am just wondering about...
What is your name and address, please?
Cheryl Merriman,
Merriman?
no, with a Y,
Why? And your address?
and 4 Dilla Street.
Dilla Street. Okay.
Everyone knows where Dilla Street is.
Okay.
Thank you. My question is about water. When you approve construction for new condominiums, and I've noticed there's been 2 or 3, but they weren't going to, I don't know how that works. But my concern is water. What, do you check with the water department? Do they okay it?
We get letters from the water department for
everything.
everything that comes to this board.
Yeah.
With the site plans, whatever they are, residential subdivisions, the plans go out to the water department, they send us a letter back. If they're not able to supply water, we've at various points in time have said the applicant has to find their own water, in which case it's drilling a well, depending on what it is that's going in.
Right.
Or the water department says, yep, you got to put in this size pipe or do whatever. We're not the ones that say, oh, we don't think you have enough water. That's up to the water department. They make that final decision.
Okay. I had stopped into the water department last summer, I think, and I didn't talk to, just in the office. And she said, oh, I don't know anything about that. Or, we don't know anything about that. So it's probably not the women who work in the office. But this year, we're on stage 4. And I keep seeing okaying to have these buildings built with 600 units.
Well, these units, first of all, we do not do the approval for those. The only thing we do is a recommendation, and we don't like them, but the zoning board of appeals is the one who approves.
Approves it.
Yeah, we have no say in the decision whatsoever.
Those are the Deer Street condos? Is that the one she's
Yeah,
talking
the
about?
40Bs.
Maybe?
Yes.
And those probably were submitted along, I forget when those went in. That setup went in a while ago, so that got approved a while ago and was already set in, and the water company should have been as part of their,
Yeah, they had
what's
a,
going on. The other thing that just, and I don't want to speak for the water department, but the other thing that has happened as part of the issue, there's a couple things. The state has pretty much takes over what stage you're in or not necessarily the water department. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what the town has or can't supply. It's the state saying this area is in a drought, you're in a stage 4. The other thing is the town of Milford had to shut off the Godfrey Brook wells down off of Dilla Street until they can come up with adding additional filtration down there, so that cut their supply availability down, which they weren't until this year aware that they were going to have to do that. So there are some issues going on. The other thing is what you need to realize, and people say, oh, you got to stop. You can't just stop. If you're going to stop, you as a town needs to have a plan as to, because it's not fair that you can have water and this people can't.
Right.
So if you're going to say, no, we can't allow anymore, then the town needs to come up with a plan as to how they're going to allow it to go forward in the future.
How we're going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just hoping that there are people working on that. And-
Well, as I said, I know the Godfrey Brook wells they're working on
Right.
in terms of bringing that back online. It's because of the type of pollution that they found in it, it's difficult to take out. So it will take a little bit of time, but that will provide some additional water. Again, depending on what happens with rain, you get a different story at that too. But there are some things going on.
Okay. It just concerns me. I
Yep.
drive by that sign every day, and then you see new construction,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, thank you for paying attention to the issue. It's important.
Yeah.
Oh, it is important.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm collecting water now off the roof. And
Good for you.
And to water the flowers, but
Yeah.
I see water going on all the time with
Yeah.
people around. So-
You're doing what's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Good
much.
citizenship.
Well, the other item was the food truck bylaw. Joe, were you at the recent meeting?
No, I was down the Cape and I couldn't, I
That's all right.
wasn't here, and I don't know if you had it as a call-in or not.
I have
but
some notes on it. So what they're doing, they're getting off of it being a general bylaw, and it's just going to become a Board of Health policy. So if that policy gets adopted, then we have to minor tweak our zoning bylaw so that it's only the fixed locations that we're trying to govern, right? So in my opinion, and I haven't talked to Chris and I haven't talked to any of them about it because I wasn't at the meeting, but I would presume that there's no rush on the bylaw amendment until the Board of Health policy is adopted.
Yep.
And if that's in place, then we can do our.
Yeah, you don't want to take it out of here until we know what the outcome is.
Right.
And, as I've talked to Chris a couple times, I don't know what they plan on putting into it as a Board of Health bylaw.
Right.
But I wouldn't be for it unless there's some dollar value assessed to it. I mean, I don't want a restaurant business in the town of Milford having to pay 1.5 times the tax rate and have somebody come in with a food truck
Yeah.
and go to the Board of Health for a $50 a year permit fee, and that's the only thing they get to charge. So
So the entire general bylaw draft that I put together, they took that and they're going to work some of that into their policy.
Okay,
And
well-
they've officially relieved me from the duty of working on it.
Well, I would just make sure they're aware that it needs, you can do whatever you want to change that until we make a recommendation to take it out of ours. You haven't done anything for all practical purposes,
Right.
one. And two, at least one member of this board, and I would assume town meeting is going to be interested in how do you reconcile this with the tax rate for restaurants in the town of Milford.
Agreed. All right.
Very good points.
So that's the food truck piece. What else? Oh, so the ones that made it on the spring were the lot width and the conservation bylaw. We're still going to put these forward. So the timing is, we have to at least send these to the select board, but on September 1st. That'll get us to the October, I think it's the 15th town meeting date. So we send them to the select board that day, they kick it back to us, and then we have to advertise it for 2 weeks, and then we're able to hold our public hearing the first week in October, and that should give us enough time to do this. I think. But,
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change them.
and these two aren't changing, so, and then the big question becomes, well, let's do our charge first, and then I'll get to the zoning bylaw stuff.
Okay, so no action needed on those three right now?
No, sir.
Okay. The next item of the agenda is the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee.
Yep, so I cleaned this up to everything that we talked about, and if it's good from you guys, I can send this off to council for his review. I just wanted to get all our language together before I send it to council. But I think we've discussed everything on here, and I think it should be good at this point.
Okay. Any questions?
No, again, we had the discussion, you just wrote down what we discussed, and
That's it.
Okay.
So I'll send this to council.
Do you need to make a motion on that?
No, that's okay.
Okay, good. Number 10, we've got planning board rules and regulations. Anything on that?
Yeah, so, council doesn't think we should do that. It took him 5 months to do it, but he redlined the ever-loving heck out of the thing that I sent, and then he said, look, this is going to create more problems for you than it's going to solve. And I was like, look, what we really need this for is to add a bond piece to our site plan review. It's like, so what do I got to do with that? And he didn't have an answer for me yet, because that's really the big one. We need to get a bond mechanism in place in our rules so that we can apply those to site plans and not just subdivisions. So I'll hopefully get an answer on that soon, but as of right now, the rules and regulations are off the table, and that's our town council's recommendation, unless the board feels otherwise. And the reason I did it is because our zoning bylaws tell us that we should do it.
Tell us we should do what?
That
Update
we
it?
should have rules and regulations.
Oh, okay.
As most towns
Yeah.
do.
So, where are we though? Are we? I wasn't sure what the end point was on this discussion.
So I'm going to table it for now,
Okay.
I suppose.
So we're not going to move forward with.
But what I need to figure out is how we can add a bond requirement into, if it's a zoning bylaw, or having it as our own personal policy, I think made the most sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to work on it, but it's not going to be on our agenda.
I would think we could put it into the zoning if we had to.
Right.
And as part of that, I would think we can get a section out of that the applicant has to post a bond for,
Are there any other bonds in the zoning bylaw?
we have for subdivision.
Subdivision
Just the
regs.
subdivision rules.
Subdivision, the only other time we've taken bonds is when they've requested a occupancy prior to completion of site plan. We've taken a bond for the work that's remaining so that we can guarantee ourselves that, so that when they get their occupancy, because once they get their occupancy, even temporary, we sort of want to make sure that there's some mechanism for us to have the work completed.
and the bond has to be of a certain rating too, or we don't take.
Of a certain what?
Certain rating. The bond rating has to be,
Yeah, the bond company.
that's written in the zoning bylaw.
Yeah.
That's the only ones I remember we've done. But yeah, I don't think the one that, for site plan review is actually in the bylaw. That's just us doing that at that point in time. The subdivision one is actually.
Yeah, the subdivision is, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if
That's the
come up a
one.
way to, if he can come up with a way, or otherwise, I would say let's look into doing that in the zoning bylaw and sooner rather than later.
Right. So given the town planner updates piece, we have lots to talk about. We'll start with the local permitting, the consolidated local permit, which is all our clean energy uses. This went into effect July 1. There's going to be one large consolidated local permit. It's like 15 pages long. This is for solar, wind, like bioproducing energy. I don't know if we're not going to see anything like that, but and battery energy storage. So any of these clean energy storage would have to fill out this large-scale consolidated local permit, and I'm going to recommend it comes to us because it's the most sensible place for it to come. It's going to wrap in site plan, special permits, whatever is in our zoning bylaw into one decision. I don't think it impacts conservation. That's what Liz asked me, because that's a state permit. I think that stays separate. So, but anyway, it's one application, one decision. We have 12 months to review them. We have to offer this on our website as a consolidated local permit by October 1st. The model bylaws are not ready yet.
I'm sorry, the what?
Model bylaws
Oh, okay, model.
are not ready yet. So small projects under 25 megawatts. That's not a small project. All right. 25 megawatt is several acres, 2.5 acres per megawatt. That's generally how big these things are. And anything larger than that is like an entire farm. And those don't get handled locally. Large-scale ones get handled at the state level. I don't think we have any land in Milford
Yeah,
that
it's
would
not-
qualify
I was
for
gonna
something
say,
like that.
Nothing left to think of.
So, the 25 megawatt or
Put a
less,
3 kW generator.
so
So can you run that formula again? Each megawatt requires,
2.5 acres.
and you're talking 75 megawatt.
That's for
So
solar.
that's 150,
25 megawatt.
170 acres.
Yeah, 25 megawatts, yeah, like 75 acres, right. The project includes solar,
Guys
wind.
in Boston think we're in Texas.
So the process is, and it's on page 12, if you want to look at this.
Wow.
They do a pre-filing where they come and meet with the municipality. They put their application together, which I'll review. They'll hold a public meeting before they even submit their application. That's part of their pre-filing requirement. Public meeting, I don't think it's a public hearing, but it's a public meeting to get all of their information collective together, and I'll send it out to all town departments for feedback. But this is assuming Rick makes me the champion of this, which is something he has to do. Right now it's him, but I'm sure he'll give it to me.
I want to delegate that.
So I'll review the applications, make sure they're complete, and then they'll have their own public hearing process for this, and we'll have to review everything. So there are some exemptions that would not fall under this permit on page 15. Some exemptions are anything within less than an acre. Front of the meter solar, that's like rooftop stuff. Solar canopies over parking lots, those are exempt. Behind the meter accessory use generation. And exempted storage is less than 250 kilowatt hours. So these are pretty small things. We're talking like ground mounted solar that would just service your own house. Those are exempt. And anything that's in our bylaw, I think we allow rooftop and canopy stuff anyway, so that's all set there. The other thing, the solar types. I'm gonna go back to page 6 here. Yeah. A 20 K ground mounted solar next to a house, you can see how big that is. And then you look at a 1 megawatt ground mounted solar facility on page 7 and how large that actually is. It's a lot of space.
This is terrifying.
This is our government.
Right.
This is environmentally sensitive, you can tell. We're gonna cut down all the trees and
Look at all
put
the
up solar
trees.
panels.
Yep. Then a 20
We're
megawatt.
gonna dig, I don't know how much silicon up to make these panels, because this is environmentally sensitive.
And the battery energy storage.
It is. Yikes.
So this,
You win some, you gain some, you lose some.
the large battery energy storage is over 25 megawatts, so I don't think we would have to handle that application if we had a large battery storage.
They're writing the zoning, they're building, and the building with the energy code down with the building, they're gonna make it so you run the gas generators even more than you have to before.
So the things that we'd look at is emergency response, nuisances, decommissioning, because they got to take down panels and we got to have a decommissioning agreement, contamination. I don't think anyone's covered this yet, but what's the small plastic, that new thing? I forget what it's called. It's got an acronym for it that's showing up everywhere in water supply. Thank you, PFAS. Yeah.
That's what's in Godfrey Brook Wells.
Right, so a lot of this stuff comes off of solar panels, a lot of it.
Oh, no kidding.
So I can tell you in Douglas, they put these on top of a hill, and it was down gradient to Wallem Lake. And Wallem Lake started testing positive for PFAS, and everyone was wondering why. And just look at the top of the hill, and it's all coming right there. It was pretty
That's a
obvious.
nice body of water.
So that's another concern for contamination anyway, but they haven't proven or tested that yet. So there's no theory, unless you're testing their own detention basins where they're collecting water,
Yeah.
which they're not going to let you do, so.
Is it safe to swim there?
Wallem?
Yeah.
Yeah, it still is, but it's a matter of time before it gets too much.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's a lovely,
yeah, monitoring lighting, setbacks, erosion and runoff, stormwater control will be huge for any of these solar things. Anyway, so that is news. And then we have the other news,
oh dear.
which is our variance changes. So I'll try to summarize some of these changes. Notice is allowed electronically instead of certified. Sorry, it's added instead of just regular mail. You could also do it electronically if you wanted to. So the way I understand that is assessors would have to gather emails as part of an abutters list.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how can you do that?
Right.
And
So
how does...
And then giving out that
Well,
information.
then again,
Exactly.
Then
It's
again,
crazy.
you can vote in Massachusetts by asking for a ballot, and who knows who actually sends it out, so why the hell can't,
Right.
you know,
So that was
gets the email.
That's my first concern. So non-conforming, extended, or altered is an as of right, if it complies with the setbacks. So if you got a multifamily, or a two-family in the RA, or it's that one we just had, that had the dentist office. He was altering a non-conforming use, but he was within the setbacks, he wouldn't have to come in ever again. He could just do it. It's as of right. So.
It's that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it that one? Was that the dentist? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the,
that is. What's that doing on the wall?
that's Spruce Street and Congress Street.
Oh, that is it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know why that's up there.
Why is that on there?
I don't know.
Example number one.
It knew you were going to talk about it.
Yeah, so the other thing is variances cannot have conditions. They cannot add conditions to their decisions for variances. No more conditions for the ZBA. So we can't recommend any conditions for variances.
What?
Yeah. Abandonment goes from 4 years, goes up to 4 years instead of 2. The hardship is changing.
No.
Oh, yeah.
After how many?
It's
how
no
many
longer,
hundreds of years?
it's no longer soil-shaped topography. It's whatever strict enforcement of the ordinance or bylaw would result in practical difficulty.
Yeah, zoning's gone.
You're right, that's kind of what that says. It really
That
puts it in,
says zoning's gone. There is no reason to have zoning. There's zoning,
Oh, yeah.
there is no reason to have zoning, because you can well, I can't do what I want to do. Well, that's a hardship.
right, so
Wow.
the way I understand it is,
You gotta read that.
I'm gonna, this
You
is,
gotta sit down and read that
I'm gonna
one.
have to,
yeah,
I'm
it's,
gonna
it's,
have to read
it's,
this one.
it's pretty crazy. So the original hardships still apply, but it has in front of it whether the practical difficulty relates to soil shape or topography, whether the strict enforcement would impose a financial hardship. It's just, it just takes the power right away from the
Zoning Board
town.
of Appeals was ahead of their times. They've been
Right.
doing this for years.
Right? So, it's pretty crazy. So, and residential use variances are allowed, as we talked about before the meeting started. So, if you're in an industrial zone and and you have a lot, you can put a house on it. No problem. You
Well,
just,
the thing-
you just apply for your variance and it's going to be granted.
And then complain about the noise.
Yes.
And then how many industrial sites are oversized? So that means you can come back in and do an
81P
81P it
Yeah.
and create a lot.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, the no conditions one is really what
That-
blows my mind.
Me too.
So,
Too.
there's a lot of extra reading here.
Oh, that's
You guys
it.
want to take this stuff home?
Yeah.
Even the zoning board, they put a 3-bedroom condition on it. Now they can't even do that.
Right, so anything that was prior to
What they
this.
did was take it away.
Yeah.
Not when
So,
When do they,
people like the water and.
When do they
sewer,
speak
I wonder
about
if they could
implementation?
say-
I think this is active, because it's like it's like they did with the ADUs.
okay.
It was active the day that she signed it, what was that, August? And then they released their own regulations in February. So I think they're working on their model bylaws and their own regulations, but this is an actual bylaw, this is different.
Yeah.
Or an actual, so, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a change of the,
Change
See,
the
I'm not-
zoning act.
Yeah.
So all the planners on my thread are just going crazy over
yeah.
this.
So if we can't do conditions, to me, my logic tells me that means an awful lot of variances are going to get denied.
Can't deny them.
You can't.
You got to deny them for the reasons that are on there, and that becomes very difficult.
and
I
even if
mean,
they're denied, they can be they'll be overturned with no problem whatsoever.
The only one you could deny, in theory, are encroachments and setbacks, and we don't do that. So,
Do that.
or a use variance in a business in a residential zone. Those we still don't do. So I guess that's okay. But yeah, times they are changing.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's all I have.
for that report.
anybody's going to college planning on being a planner in Massachusetts, tell them, don't bother, it isn't worth the aggravation.
You consult.
Whatever you say, it doesn't mean anything. Whatever planning you have to do, unless you're planning bike paths, then you got a shot at it.
Right.
You got something to do.
Consolidated local permit, I've been told, is the new 40B.
Yeah. They even compared it, didn't they, in here?
Yes.
The 40Bs, we're going to make this into a 40B. That's gone over so big for the past 30-something years.
Exactly.
Let's see if we can do another one that'll blow
Everybody's
us
favorite
up.
regulation.
Yeah.
As far as updates from the chairman, I have none. Any member updates?
School Building Committee, we have a meeting tomorrow. I think I told you, I think I had mentioned it the last time, Consigli was selected as the construction manager for this initial phase of the project.
Oh, yeah? I didn't realize that.
Yep. But Skanska is requesting that they filed an appeal for that, so that's going on right now. So I really can't update anything on that. I mean, as far as we're concerned, we're still moving forward in terms of Consigli, but there was, I'm not sure, I'm not sure what Skanska's major complaint was, especially given the way the contract was going to be done is we're only signing Consigli up for the initial phase, which was a set amount. It was $150,000. That's it. That's all it can be. We didn't ask them for. We said this is what we're looking for you to do. This is how much we're going to. This is how much is available to be spent. We will negotiate with them on phases 2 and 3 as we move forward. And moving forward would only happen if we get funding from the town at town meeting. So there's no guarantee that they go any further than that. So dollars was not, to me, and looking at it, was not a major concern. But Skanska overall cost was less than Consigli's, which was like, again, looking at it, I looked at it and said, this means nothing because we don't even know what we're building yet. So how can you give me a CM cost for the job when you don't know and neither does Consigli know what the end product is going to look like? But anyways, I'm not sure that was their only concern or not. But anyways, that's where that sits. There is a meeting tomorrow night with the full committee. And we're working towards the submittal of the, and my wording always gets screwed up because I don't use the same words as other people does, but effectively the conceptual design options that we need to submit to the state. We need to go to the state with, again, when we originally put in the application, we put in the application and said we wanted to study the high school, as a high school, 9 through 12. We wanted to study 8 through 12, and we also wanted to study 7 through 12. As we got into the process, went through the amount of students in the schools and where we would be based on the existing schools, it became clear that a 7 through 12 school didn't make financial sense and didn't make size sense. We didn't need that many classrooms, new classrooms, that we really didn't want to do that. But we still have to submit to the state at least one option that looked at that and give them a number of what that would be. That's not our recommended option or not. Because of costs, we're also pushing away from 8 through 12 and doing a 9 through 12 school. That looks like we would be able to, that would give us enough room to give us, the district, some level of flexibility moving forward. So it looks like what the school would be a 9 through 12. We've moved away for the last, and I'll see tomorrow, but the last designs, effectively, the option that we think works the best is one that puts most of the new school, if you're familiar with the site, in the parking lot by the auditorium, cafeteria, and gym, in that area, that parking lot that sits out between the school and then west to the hill that goes up to Bandy Lane, the houses on Bandy Lane. That's where most of the new school would get built. Then you remove some of the old school and put in whatever else needs to be done. What it looks like will happen, again, because of the way the state does things, we're not able to, the state does not pay for pool. One of the things, among other things, that they won't pay for is a pool. They will also not pay for any repair work on an existing pool, nor will they pay for any of the work to just try to connect that pool into what you're building now and stuff. They become very punitive in any type of work that you do with the pool. So it may actually behoove the town of Milford, if we want to keep the pool, to do that as a separate project. So we're actually looking at perhaps keeping, and again, if you know the site, the pool site, perhaps the gym and Shining Star, keep that portion of the building, because it's relatively easy to cut off from what's there now, the high school. That portion would get removed, and we'd keep that as a, again, it could be almost anything. The gym section could turn into, because again, we don't get paid for admin. The admin building, whatever we need to do, again, admin's connected to the existing building. They won't pay us for an admin portion. That isn't part of what the state, and they penalize you if you put that admin into the existing building, because what they do is they make an assumption as to how much this admin cost you within the building, and that assumption is actually very punitive. Not only is it, if you could identify the exact cost for that you'd end up having to pay even more than that. So it's something where you try to move away from doing that. So we're thinking that, and I don't want to put too much words because the town's going to have to figure out what that is, but that could be a community center, community thing. You leave the gym upstairs, you put school admin down. There's a whole bunch of options that they could use. Again, they will pay us for Shining Star, so we'll get paid for that in a new building. We could use the Shining Star and turn that into an admin portion in that building and stuff. So they're looking at, does that make sense financially? But again, that would be almost a separate, outside of the high school request for funding for the high school. So that's where they are right now, and that will be moving forward. Yeah, the plans that need to go to the state, I think they're going in shortly. We may be submitting those to the state this month, which effectively goes through, they'll look at, I think we're submitting 5 or 6 options. Again, one option has to be the repair option, just to repair the existing site, which will be interesting when people see that, because the cost, the town's cost for that, because the state does not participate in that. If you're doing a repair, Massachusetts School Building Committee does not give you any money for that. You pay it all on your own. The existing high school meets just about no codes right now. So accessibility-wise, a whole bunch of things, certainly electrical, the heating and power meets none of those things. So once you get into it, we'd be over the limit and have to meet all the new codes. It would actually cost the town about the same or more just to do a repair of the existing building. And that doesn't even get into whether there's any structural deficiencies in the building itself that need to be repaired. That's just trying to upgrade the existing plant and stuff that we know we'd have to do in terms of handicapped accessibility and stuff. If it turned out that there were some beams that had to be repaired, you'd be even over that. So it's an interesting, it effectively comes down to you get into a rock and a hard place. It's a lot of money for a new school. That building, if you've been in it, it needs to be redone.
It's impossible.
And yeah, you can't, everyone's gonna say, well, just fix it. You can't. You can't do it at the numbers, the numbers are gonna be exactly the same or higher than getting a new building. And what do you end up with at the end of the day when you just fix it? So,
A fixed-up old building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a well-built concrete building, but everything's buried in the concrete. All the heating pipes are 50 years old.
yep.
I sat there and looked at it. There's construction-wise, there's no way to do that.
What's the date of the original school? When was that built?
Yeah,
It started in 1969.
yeah. I mean, I hope with the new power plant, utility area is going to be above ground, not below ground like there.
Well, I mean, one of the things we're looking at, and that's one of the things that actually helps us with Consigli as compared to Skanska, is Consigli does all of their own drilling for testing and stuff, because we want to run hydraulic testing for possibly putting in ground heat pumps. And, digging, we'd have to put welds in for that. So we need to know what the availability is and what the water temperature is and how deep we need to go. Well, they go deep is what they end up doing. They put some deep wells in and do it that way and then run it through the, so I don't know how many they'd need, but anyways, that would be, long-term, again, it's expensive. Wells get expensive, all things like that, but long-term, that becomes your least costly downstream. I mean, then you're maintaining a pump to pump water through a system as opposed to having a lot of mechanical.
You got glycol going into the ground.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Any others?
No,
Great.
I couldn't top that one.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, our next meeting will be August 11th.
I'll be a year older that day.
Yes.
yeah, I wish you a happy birthday.
And what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Bye.
Unanimous. Thank
See you
you.
in August.
We'll see you at the next meeting.
I should be here. That's 2 days before my